You said before that meditative people cannot be corrupted by power. But how come Sheila and her gang was corrupted by power?
Meditative people cannot be corrupted ever. If somebody is corrupted, that only means he was not meditative. And about Sila, I can tell you certainly she had no interest in meditation, in my way of life, my philosophy. Her interests were totally different. She had come first to me because her husband was suffering from cancer. And the doctors in America had said that he cannot live more than 2 years. She was desperately in search of someone who can help. Her husband, Chaitanya, was a beautiful man. He remained with me. And it almost always happens when you are facing death. Meditation is easy. You cannot postpone it because tomorrow you may not be here to meditate. So Chaitanya tried hard to meditate, and that helped him to live far more than all the medical experts were agreed. They could not believe what has happened to him. Because 2 years was the maximum limit for his disease. But he lived almost 10 years. And lived happily in spite of cancer, and died happily just few years more, and he would have been enlightened. But he reached to the point that in the next life, the remaining small part can be done. His next life will be the last life. Sila has to remain with him. So it was just accidental. Her coming to me, her remaining with me. And when Chaitanya is starting it, going beyond the 2-year limit, she started behaving uglily towards him. Naturally, he was sick, had cancer, and he was not so much interested in sexuality. All that he needed was a womanly warmth. So Sila started having lovers. That was a great wound in Chaitanya. And my feeling is he would have lived a little more. But these wounds were becoming more and more. And Sila was constantly fighting with him. Before he died, Sila had divided the room in 2 parts, and she was living with his new boyfriend, and Chaitanya was left alone. Cancer and he had passed 8 years beyond medical speculation. When he came to be examined by the doctors, they could not believe. They said, "This is nothing except a miracle. And I do not do any miracles, and I do not believe in any miracles." But he meditated. There was nothing left for him. Only cancer and death. But this wound, that at these last moments of his life, Sila will divide the room, and he could hear her laughter, joy with her new boyfriend. Perhaps was too much. Perhaps the will to live disappeared. In a way, he was killed by Sila. Sila never meditated. Not only that, you must have observed, she never even listened. While I was speaking, she was sleeping. All the years in India, the time of my discourse was the time for her to sleep. Perhaps she was saving that time for the night for the boyfriend. As far as I'm concerned, I accept every type of people. I don't make conditions. Whoever comes to me, he is welcome. I had chosen Sila to be my secretary not because she was meditative, not because she understood my approach towards problems. My reason of choosing her was totally different. She had a very practical mind, very pragmatic. She was intelligent. And thirdly, because she has no idea of my total vision, just necessary instructions she could repeat like a parrot. And I needed a parrot. I was in silence. I had no need of a very articulate man, because the articulate man will hear me, but his mind will constantly be changing it, making it more sophisticated, more polished. He will edit, he will add. It will not be pure. I needed a parrot who knows nothing of philosophy, knows nothing of religion, knows nothing of the ultimate problems of life. Sila was perfect. She could only repeat what I was saying to her. These were the basic reasons in the beginning that I had chosen my secretary. Another point to be understood which is significant: many questions have come that you are an enlightened being. How could you choose wrong people? Those questions are out of a misunderstanding. An enlightened person can see you in the moment, in your totality. But your future is unpredictable. And there are only two possibilities. If your future is freedom, It has to be unpredictable. If your future is not freedom, then it can be predicted. Almost all the religions have chosen a predictable future. But the implication is that man becomes a machine. Only machines are predictable. I went into silence. The direct communication between me and you stopped. She became the only communication. She saw the opportunity, the great opportunity. That you love me so much and you trust me so much that whatever message she brings from me, you believe it. That gave her a clue that you can be exploited, that she can bring any message to you which I have not given. She can change the message and you will trust totally and do it accordingly. That's why for 3.5 years you simply remained unaware what she is doing. And power has a strange quality. It brings all your hidden desires to the surface. That's why power corrupts. It is not power that really corrupts. It only brings all corrupted ideas in you to the surface. Because power gives you an opportunity to give those ideas a reality. Nobody has any idea that a woman can turn into an Adolf Hitler. The same happened in this small commune. You were engaged in creating the oasis in the desert. I was living in isolation and silence. And she had the gap between the two. You were engaged in the work so much, and I was out of contact with you. I have never been on any power position in my whole life, and I will never be, because I know something bigger than power. I know something more powerful than power. I know love, I know trust, and I love unconditionally, and I trust unconditionally, and I love and trust even those who are strangers, even those who have done things against me.